Hey, 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 and welcome back to another Monday Fun Day where we are coming with Passion Unscripted podcast talking about love and intimacy and relationship and how can we better ourselves for these kind of conversations, right? Because again, it's all about learning and becoming the best version of ourselves. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, hello, hello. My name is Irina Portnova. I'm a manifestation coach. I'm all about let's consciously create the best love relationship and just enjoy this life to the fullest. And I'm here with my co host, Dina Alexander. Hello, Dina. Say a
Hi,
couple of words about yourself.
hi, beautiful. Yes, it's fun day. Mondays are fun days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Dina Alexander, just like what Irina said. I live in Aruba. I am a relationship coach, a personal coach, and a sex coach. I marry spirituality and sex. I love multi-level marketing, and if you love that too, please just join me. Send me a message, and we'll connect and network together. That's a little bit about me.
I love that. And today we have a fun topic. Obviously, you are always the one to follow the news. It's called Man in Intimacy because we always figuring out the topics before we come live to you. And Dina just texted me. She said, "Oh, it's a Man's Day on the 19th of November." And honestly, I didn't follow that because I remember coming back from Ukraine. We never had Mother's Day when I was smaller. We had a Women's Day, International Women's Day, and I know it's celebrated everywhere, but in United States, right? So
Yeah.
United States not very common, but we did celebrate it with Dina. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is that men also want to be celebrated, and today we are going to dive deep talking about like man's mental health matters, man's feelings matter, because again, in our society we were all trained that men just have to be warriors. They suppress the feelings, and obviously now we are living in the society where we as women crave the men who are more sensual, who are more sensitive, who are more emotionally available and connected to us. And that's why we are having this conversation, right, Dina?
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it how the intro, you did your intro. And
Mm,
as you said, this is our men's episode. And it is an invitation for men to be seen, for women
mhm,
to understand men, and for all of
mhm.
us to deepen intimacy in a way that we might have never imagined. All right, loves. Men, we usually attract men listening to us. So this is for
Mhm.
you guys. Breathe in and breathe out, and let's do this.
Mhm.
So, first, can can we just acknowledge something? Men, yes. If you're listening to us, you wonderful men listening right now, you carry the entire emotional galaxies behind your silence.
Mhm.
But the world doesn't always ask, hey, how is your heart doing today? It asks,
Mhm.
did you do it yet? Can you handle it? Why are you emotional? Why aren't you emotional? Men grow up learning to be the backbone, but very rarely the one that is held. And here is something I want everyone to hear: men feel deeply, they just express differently. Sometimes emotions land in their stomach, or in their jaws, or in their chests, right behind the ribs, where unspoken things curl up and wait for permission.
Mhm.
Many men were taught to be strong, don't cry, don't break, you don't need anything, don't fall apart, and so I can go on. Don't show fear. But guess what? Intimacy requires softness, Connection requires vulnerability. Pleasure requires safety, and men crave that too. And even if they don't say it, they do want that. What opens up, Irina? What comes
Yeah.
up in you?
A lot of things open up because obviously, Dina, we like we dealt with a lot of men with our life, right? Because we already have some life experience. But what I wanted to mention, it's like a lot of times men stay in their ego because that's exactly how they were raised, that's how they were trained, and a lot of times they're not listening to their heart. And what happens at the end of the day, they are the ones to suffer because they can't express what's on their heart. And by doing all these actions that actually not something that really aligns with their heart, they create more like more hurt for themselves than it actually could be, right? Because how easy would it be if man could be opening up and sharing what is on their mind, what's on their heart, so we would be open to understand and receive that what matters to them, right? I feel like this is something that men have to feel more comfortable to do. And I think it takes both man and woman because a lot of times women are in the position where they don't feel trusted to actually share what's on their heart because, again, everybody is afraid to be hurt, everybody is building the walls. But I feel it's the time when everybody actually rise up and say, hey, enough of that BS, enough of this game playing. Let's just be ourselves and let's just express ourselves to the fullest.
Yes, 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 yes. I couldn't be so. I feel excited. Do you feel my excitement? Yes,
Absolutely, yes.
because it's true what you just said. Okay, let's
Mhm.
talk. Let's talk about the stuff men rarely say out loud. Okay, and the silent behind the scenes of the battles. Okay, that they have inside of them.
Mhm.
So number one, I feel pressure to always be strong. They never talk about that. Even if they are exhausted, even when they are confused, even when they are scared, they don't share that pressure that they get because they always need to be strong. Okay. And point two, I want emotional intimacy, but I don't know the language. Many men feel this. Many men were never given emotional vocabulary. So they love through actions, fixing things, solving problems, doing, providing, protecting. It's love in motion. But is this really emotional intimacy? I don't think so. Okay. Point three that I want to bring up. These are the battles that men have. I want to be desired too. Men want to be desired too, just as
Mhm.
women. Not for what they do, not for what they provide, but for who they are. Men want to feel chosen, want it. They want to feel worthy and sexy. Yes, men love being seduced, but
Mhm.
it's a battle they cannot they can't say it because it's not being said out there. That's why we are here. They just don't often get that kind of attention, and that's why we are talking this. And I would love if some men are listening to us, they can acknowledge in the caption, yes, just say yes, and then we'll understand that that's what you want also. So the last
Mhm.
point I want to touch, men, they don't say that I'm afraid of falling for the people I love, but usually they are afraid. Okay, this is the one they always almost never say, but it lives in so many masculine hearts. These are real, these are human, and they deserve compassion. So Irina, what do you think of?
Yes, you know what? I totally agree with every word that you're sharing, Dina. And like, I'm having my 11-year-old boy, right? My son. And I want to make sure that if he feels like crying, I'm there for him. I'm hugging him. I'm really curious what's going on, right? I'm not actually suppressing his emotions and saying, like you have to be a man, act like a man, because I have this emotional intelligence and I understand that I don't want to grow another man who is, like completely shut down to his emotions, who doesn't know how to be vulnerable, right? I create that safe space for him as the mother already, and just showing to him that it's totally fine to actually express themselves, right? To be who he is. And like I love when he shares with me, right? And the more we connect on that level, again, we as women also can do our part to make men more comfortable in the space, and like not be judgmental but more compassionate, more understanding. And so I think it's their work on both parts, and everybody has to be willing to do their part. Everybody has to be willing to stay open and to really create that sacred space where two people can actually share with each other, because honestly there are so many relationships, and I'm sure that everybody is tuning in. A lot of women would feel that they wanted their partner, their husband, their boyfriend to be more emotionally connected, right? But they are just, like taking them as is. And I say all it takes is the conversation, right? And if I would say talk about the tool, I would say that, like communication opens a lot of doors, right? Again, if sometimes maybe it's difficult to express in words, just write it out. Have some kind of ritual where, like maybe once a month, you are just relating what's on your heart, and see how your partner can receive it and can do something about it. And hey, Al joins us. Hello.
Oh,
It's great to have you with us. And
yes.
he says men are not always open to speaking their mind when it comes to intimacy talk. So
I
true.
love it. I love it that hi Al, that he is sharing this comment with us at this moment. You know why? Because that's where I want to go, and I want to talk about that men wants intimacy, just like
Hmm.
Al said, they want intimacy. But here I want to share some ways that men can voice their desires out. Okay, men wants often a safe space to soften. Okay, men want to melt too, put their armor down. They to lay their heads on someone's chest. Like just like I and you want to do that. They want to do that also. And they just they don't want to be strong for 5 minutes. And some women can help men do that. Okay? They just need to be open for that. Men want appreciation, not just thanks, but I see what you do and I value who you are. You matter
Hmm.
to me. Those words are important if you speak them out loud to your men or to the men in your life, your children, if you have sons. Okay?
Hmm.
Men wants also affection without expectation. Like I adore you without he needed to say anything back. Okay,
Hmm.
not I want something for you, that's why I adore you. No,
Hmm.
it's not like that, and usually we do that as women. Okay,
Hmm.
men want clear communication. Men love knowing how to love their partner. It makes them feel empowered. Tell them what you like, what you want, what feels good. It's a gift, not a demand. Okay. And the last, emotional connection before sexual intimacy is important for men. And this surprises a lot of women. But men also crave emotional closeness first. They want to feel trusted, respected, admired. That's what unlocks the deepest sexual presence. And that's why we are here. Okay, that is sacred sexual awareness. So
Mm-hmm.
before I go to the tips for women, what comes up?
You know what comes up to me is, like it's interesting as I feel like men and women take rejections differently, right? Because I don't know, like I'm speaking for myself. Like for me, I don't really, like care if like I remember I was sharing I had this story when I was still in. I already finished the high school. I went to college, and I really liked this guy who was older. And then I took my girlfriend and I said, "Hey, let's go. I'm not going to approach him by myself, right? Just go. We knew where he was living. Let's just, ring the bell, and you're going to tell him, hey, somebody wants to talk to you." And like she brought him outside, and I was there telling him that I like him. Imagine that, like there was no emails that time, there was no phones, right? And I was telling him that I like him and I would love to have a date, right? And we agreed to meet in 2 days. And I remember I couldn't sleep. I was listening to all that music, just already visualizing how it's all going to play out. And when I went there on that date, he wasn't there. And I remember I was crying, but at the same time, I was relieved that at least I carried myself in terms of, like, a lot of people are wishing, but they never got the courage to do it, right? Because the only way to know if something yes or no is either asking the person or doing the do, right? But I remember, like after that emotional period of crying and everything, and then I said to myself, you know what, this is not my loss, this is his loss, because he doesn't even know what he lost, right? So for me, like knowing my personality, I was never like about what if the person says no, right? And I feel that for men, that rejection is super super, like vulnerable, and they afraid to be rejected. And my question is, why? I mean, what's wrong? Like the worst thing that can be done, the woman is going to say, I don't want to go on a date with you, or you're not in my taste. But whatever it is, I feel like we as humans put too much context to that, right? In other words, it's just like the more we become ourselves, the more we can kind of just stand out and grow the thick skin just to really express ourselves. That's when the relationship becomes better and more connected. And I again come back to the point that for man, it's all in their ego, right? Like, how come she rejected me? So they feel kind of deflated and everything. But I always look at it from another perspective. Is like, if you don't try, you never really can experience the beauty of life. Al, what do you say? We are waiting for your comments.
Yes, of
As a
course.
man, as a
I
man,
want,
right?
yes, as the
Why
man here,
rejection? Yeah, why rejection is so painful for guys?
I want to share something also. I do think that the market out there is really for the women. Okay, we have the luxury to choose whomever, and the men will not, scarcely, not very often reject.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but the men, the market is out there. Almost every woman will reject. Okay, so it's different for men. That's why they feel it, they have it so hard for rejection, because the majority of time they have rejection, because the women that they want reject them, the ones that they don't want won't reject them. But they're not going after those,
Mm-hmm.
or the
And I
women.
think, you know what, Adina, I think it's part of the process, right? Like every person who is breathing in this life, they all have experienced that, right? There is not a single person, no matter how good looking they are. Everybody got rejected at some point of their life because, hey, we have to have all the experiences. That's why we are coming here, right? And the idea is to have these experiences and, like stand strong and overcome everything that comes our way, right?
Yes,
That's the whole point of life.
yes, yes, true. That's true. But I do think that we women do have the market for is for us, and
Mm-hmm.
there are not so many rejection out there because if you, but for the men they have this. I do understand. So Al said something. Let me see what he said. He said sometimes men feels frustration when women rejects them, and they will not question the lady to clarify, but seeking elsewhere for solutions instead. Yes, and that's true. And maybe they should search for the reason
Mm-hmm.
why, because maybe there is something they need to adjust. It's the shadow work,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
it's true what you're saying, Al. I do agree with you that they need to question more the reason why to clarify. Okay. So I would like to, because the time is not waiting. Do we have time? Still have time?
Yes, we still have 10 minutes.
I want to give some tips to women how to
Mm-hmm.
connect with the men in your life. Okay. So scoot in, women, to hear what I want to say. Let's talk about how to connect with the men you love in deeper, more sacred ways. So, one, ask him hard questions. Heart. It's not heart as stone, but heart from the from your from your heart. Try
Mm-hmm.
things like, what has been on your mind lately? Not closed questions, open questions. How can I support you this week? What is something you wish people understood about you? And wait for the answer, because if he is smart, he will ignore it and go to another topic. Okay. And if you get an answer, you will be shocked at what emerges when a man finally feels safe to answer your questions. So tip number two, compliment the men, not the role, but compliment the men. Thank you for working hard is nice, but I love the way your mind works. That is something nice also. Or I love the softness in your eyes. It hits a whole different level if you talk like that to men. Okay, because they have that soft part, but you need to see it, acknowledge it,
Mm-hmm.
and let him hear it. Tip number three, give him space without interpreting it as a rejection. Men often decompress in silence, and it's not personal. It is regulation. That's how men process. Majority of men. Okay. Tip number four, initiate intimacy, whether emotional or physical. Men love being desired. Let him feel chosen. Just like you like to be chosen and desired, he also. And then my last tip, celebrate his softness, just not just his strength. If a man
Mm-hmm.
opens up to you, that is sacred. Treat it like a treasure, because it is. Okay, that those are the tips I want to leave the women today, this Monday. I hope I gave you some extra to help you out.
Yes. Elle, we would love to know anything else that you would like to bring to the table that we didn't cover. Maybe there is some kind of questions you wanted to ask, because I feel it's important, right? Because we do dedicate a lot of episodes to women, and it's great to bring the man into the play, right? Because we are not feminists. We we love men, right? We love their gentle side.
Oh, he said
Awesome. Yeah. He's,
super
he's had
tips.
great tips.
I
Yes.
love it.
Awesome. Yes. So I think, again, when it comes to these kind of things, it's also, there is something for a woman to do for these connections, right? And again, I feel like if people come to the agreement that it's okay to express themselves, then we can grow more emotionally connected with each other rather than being disconnected, right? Yes. He said, Elle says that man loves to be nurtured and showered with love. Yeah, absolutely. And so do women, right? So I think in this sense, we are the same, but it's all about actually asking each other the right questions. So we can know each other language and we can actually do that. So that would, really nurture the relationship and make two people more connected than disconnected.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, love it.
Awesome. Yay, beautiful episode. And thanks so much, Al, for tuning in. Please share with everybody who might benefit from this. And for everybody who is watching in the replay, just comment replay so we know that you watched it, and continue just discovering who you are and what is something that sets your heart on fire. All right, love you lots, and we'll see you next Monday on another episode. Let us know if there is anything you would love us to cover, because we would love to bring it to the table. Okay, have a good one.